Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest is one third of the last podcast on the left, one half of the Brighter Side podcast, and one completely talented and hilarious comedian. Everybody, please welcome Ed Larson to the show. Ed, welcome.
What's going on? How you doing? Actually, I gotta say, I'm a little more than one third and one half just because of my sheer size.
Yeah, that's usually what I tell people. My wife is married to two and a half people. It works. Polygamy is
Yeah,
okay in Utah, so people don't tend to, roll their eyes too much.
yeah, your whole life is two and a half men. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Exactly. Not until you start talking about the downstairs and just it's a quarter of a man.
So what's going on, man? The horror movie podcast.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
so excited. Thank you for having me to talk horror movies. They're such a big part of my personal education that I've given myself.
I mean, same
I
here.
love them so much.
I mean, as you can tell from what I like to call my debt behind me of all my
Yeah.
shit, but no, it's good. I'm glad. I know you guys were talking about horror movies a while ago. I mean, I'm a little jealous you guys got David Howard Thornton on. I mean, that guy's fucking
Oh
great.
yeah, no, he's great. I can't wait, man. He's the new Robert England.
Oh shit,
I'm
yeah.
so happy to like get to know him a little bit and just interview him once. I'm bound to make this man my friend. I don't care what I have to do. I'm just gonna start showing up on his block and be like, hey, oh wow, you come here too, and it's his house, you know.
Just stalk him at the store, just full on art makeup. Like, hey man, I
Yeah.
just want to be your best friend. I'm not into ICP or anything. I'm into art.
Yeah, it's no big deal. No big deal. You love it.
Yeah. No,
Uh,
I had
Oh
his
man, what if they did Terrifier in space with all the killer clowns as a great crossover? I would love that shit.
I would actually pay to see
But
that. I
he's
don't care if
killing
it's just
them
short.
and shit. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Art versus the killer clowns.
Oh man, I could come up with plots for horror movies all day.
No,
It's
that's
just
what I do all day. Every time I have someone on the podcast, I'm like, I'm talking fanboy, but I feel like I'm pitching shit, which I hate. But no, man. Yeah, I gotta say, I'm a huge fan. Last podcast on the left, and not to blow smoke up your
awesome.
ass, as I say, but
About to
you've been a
blow,
great addition.
baby.
You've been a great addition
Thank
to
you.
that. I love it. I
I've
mean,
been
side
it's been a dream
stories.
come true.
Yeah, no, it's you guys are doing great, and that Black Dahlia series that you guys just did was so good. I mean, shit,
Oh yeah.
I loved it.
Talk about two and a half people.
Talk about clowns. Let me put a smile on your face. God, we're fucked up, but that's why we're horror fans. It makes sense.
If you don't laugh through this shit, then you just get really upset about it. There's no reason for that.
It's
Horrors are
true.
basically comedies. They have the same energy, and
Oh
so I
yeah,
feel they're like brother and sister, horror and comedy. And so that's why it goes and it works so well with Last Podcast and all these fun horror podcasts.
yeah. I mean, who doesn't laugh at a decapitation or two every now and then?
I need it. I need it. I much rather see it at the movies than in my, front yard.
Oh yeah, true. No, I was gonna say, I'm always confused with that phrase "blowing smoke up your ass." Have you ever heard?
Yeah.
Do you know where that comes from? I never
I don't
knew.
know where it comes from, but I'm sure it's a Google search away. But I think maybe it's probably a good thing. Maybe it's like for the winter, or
Maybe.
like a better way to get high. Like I
Ooh,
remember I went
okay.
to this back in the day when I used to do drugs. There was a Molly party, and I went to this Molly party. Back then we called them rolls, and I show up because there's this cute chick there. I'm like 17 years old, and and then I show up and like everyone's crushing up the pills and they're like putting it in their butts, and I'm like, whoa, can I just take a pill? Why are you guys doing the butt thing? And then they're like, it hits you harder and faster. It's like, sure, yeah, I bet it does.
No, no
But
thanks.
I took one and left and went to my friend's house and just annoyed them. But
Yeah, if I want. Oh,
that's a
sorry. Go
horror
ahead.
movie. That's my childhood.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say this is a stupid thought, but I've always thought that like the smoke up your ass is like maybe came from like 1920s Hollywood. Maybe
Oh
like
yeah.
Humphrey Bogart was like that was his fetish. He's like, hey, let me blow smoke up your ass, sweetheart. was like a badge of honor. That's my only assumption, but I don't know. Yeah, sorry. No, just,
All right, blowing smoke up your backside wasn't always a figure of speech. If someone is blowing smoke up your butt today, it probably means they are feeding your ego with insincere compliments. Oh, insincere.
oh well, fuck, I can't use
Christopher,
that anymore.
I'm upset now. Yeah. So, yeah, that's where does it come from, though? That's what we're trying to find. In 1745, a woman that fell overboard in London was resuscitated after a passing sailor had told the husband of the woman to insert the stem of his pipe into her rectum and blow tobacco smoke, which apparently revived the woman. All right. I don't know how true it is, but we said it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know. Look at this, I'm learning shit already. I love it. Speaking about learning, I've really been diving into the Brighter Side podcast, and I
Oh,
fucking love
great.
it. It's so good.
Oh, it's really a passion project of mine, and I can't believe it's become part of my job. It just started because I wanted to put positivity back in the world, man. It was, living in New York at the time, and there was this comedian who I just got my first Hollywood job, and the our warm up act was a comedian called Brody Stevens, and he has since passed on.
Yeah, I remember
But
him.
he was obsessed with positivity and just being there for people and all this shit. And I was like, man, that's what I should be doing. I like happiness. And so it started off as like a podcast about sad movies, and I just talk about the positives of them. And then I realized, I'm like, God, we should just do that with every aspect of life. And so I just started working with Amber Nelson. This is probably like 14, 15 years ago. And I pitched the podcast to her, and the rest is history. But yeah, no, I think it's important to look at the positives of a shitty situation, and that's what the brighter side is. We're cynics look at optimism. We're still very cynical, because the world is shit. But like, what are you gonna do about it? Let's at least throw some smiles in there. So
Oh yeah,
that's why I love that show.
yeah, and Amber's great. Amber also future guest coming up pretty soon, so I'm really excited about that. She's
Oh,
great.
nice. You booked Amber.
Yeah, I'm really. I reached out to her, and she's like, "Sure, I'll do your podcast." And I'm like, "Wow, okay. Apparently, it's that easy. All you gotta do is ask."
Yeah, but yes, people think it's this big fucking, if I'm not busy, I'm in. That's how we
Yeah,
all are. We love it, man. We didn't, people did our podcast when we were fucking coming up. Not that I don't think you're coming up. I think, judging by your swag, you seem pretty established. You got a hoverboard, for fuck's
I'm.
sake. Those are illegal.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm getting there. I've been doing this for 3 years. I mean, I think I've gotten to interview some cool people. You
That's
included now,
awesome.
but I just
Nice.
love talking horror. This it's therapeutic for me to just chit chat with people about movies because that's how I got through my fucked up childhood was movies. That was my
Yeah.
main thing.
It really helped all of us, man. My dad was, he was always away on business, and it was just me and my mom. And so we used to always go to the movies, and then she would do anything to like make me happy. And so she would let me watch horror movies with her sometimes too. And then me and my childhood best friend, there was a place called, what was it called? West Coast Video. And
Okay,
we literally tried to rent every horror movie in the horror section one summer. We got pretty damn close. And so I saw that summer was like an education. 12-year-old Eddie just seeing everything. It was wild. And then it all started with Evil Dead. And then I was just like, okay, let's fucking rock. After I saw that,
nice.
I was like, I didn't even know that I was into this genre that much. Because as a younger kid, I was scared to fuck of horror movies. I saw I ran out of the theater when I went to Beetlejuice. I was
Oh
terrified.
shit,
Like it was, the closet scene when she rips off her face. Not out, I'm out. So, but as you grow older, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. This is just macabre for fun, and it works, man. What about you? What are some? Where'd you? How old are you? Let me ask you that.
I will be 40 this year.
All
So
right. So we're like the same era. We were in high school during the same years. I'm 43. So we
yeah,
know what's going
I'm a cursed to look like I'm 20 something, but I mean that's it's just
on.
good
You do
genes.
look
But
young. That's why I asked.
yeah,
That's why, yeah, you do. You're baby faced. It's
that's why I had to
good.
grow this
Don't
shit
fucking
on my
complain
face.
about it. You kidding me?
Oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah, yeah.
only time I hated is when I was dating. I tried to date women my age and they're like, "You look too young. I don't want to look like I'm robbing the cradle or something." And I'm like, "Do I got to pin
Yeah.
my fucking ID to my shirt?" But no, I got into movies super young. Like my mom used to wake me up at like
Yeah.
when I was 2 or 3 years old to watch Nightmare on Elm Street and shit. She's a biker, so
That's
she
bad
didn't have really
parenting.
any laurel. Oh, sorry, what was that?
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I said
Yeah,
that was
she didn't
bad
have it
parenting, but the
for sure. I mean, she
but
took me to go
when you said she
see.
was a biker, it's a way of life.
Oh yeah, she took me to go see Bram Stoker's Dracula. I think when I was 7 in theaters, and
Yeah, dude, I saw so much shit in the theater I shouldn't have seen. It was amazing. I saw Silence of the Lambs in the theater in like
ooh,
1990. I think
nice.
it was 8 or 9. I saw some really good classics in there. I saw the first horror movie I ever saw in the theater was Jason Takes Manhattan, and that was
Oh shit, yeah.
I talked my dad into seeing that, and obviously it's a horrible film, but
Oh yeah,
like 7 or 8 or however old I was like, yeah, let's rock,
yeah. It's
when
basically
he grabbed
Jason
that
takes a boat
spear
ride.
gun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then he goes to Manhattan and he punches that guy's head into the trash can. Love it.
Oh yeah.
Jason Goes to
Oh,
Hell. Surprisingly, I like Jason Goes to Hell. I think that's a good one. I really do enjoy that one. But it gets a lot of shit, and I always like to stick up for Jason Goes to Hell, even though he's not even really in it.
yeah. No, I stick up for
It's
that
like
movie.
his heart.
Yeah, I stick up for that movie all the time because essentially it links Freddy versus Jason because you
Yeah,
got Kane Hodder with the Freddy glove coming out of the ground. You got the Necronomicon, and they did Freddy versus Jason, and then they had the comic book series Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, which if you never read that, it's fucking
I never read it. I
phenomenal.
didn't know there was actually a comic book series. I knew about the rumors of the movie and that it never happened. Do you know why it never happened? I'm asking. I don't know.
Yeah, so basically, Bruce Campbell said something a few years ago at a con where he said, we had a conversation, they talked about it, and then that was it. Like, I guess they just never wanted to go through with it. So it was dumb, but there's a great Never Sleep Again's a really great Nightmare on Elm Street doc, and they go through all of that shit. There's so much good stuff in that.
If I had a personal theory, I would say it's because Robert Englund knew that Bruce Campbell was funnier than him. And then he would like kind of steal the show as far as the comedic relief because Freddy like became it started happening in 3 a little bit, the Dream Master, but in
Mhm.
4 it officially he just became like puns, galore, it was all that shit. And so I bet that could have had something to do with it. He's like, well, I'm not gonna be out funnied by this fucking guy.
Oh yeah, probably. Not to mention, he's gonna have to get killed. Ash is gonna look like the hero. So either way, but
Yeah,
no, I liked the humor of Freddy Krueger till it got to Freddy's dead because he's basically a fucking Looney Tune character. So it kind of
yeah.
ruined it a little bit. But Dream Warriors, man, third
Dream
one. That's
Warriors
my
is great. Dream Child, trash.
yeah.
I think that's my least favorite of all of them. Is Dream Child. That's the one that's on the don't rewatch list unless I'm doing a rewatch of all of them.
Yeah.
Freddy's Dead. I don't know why. I kind of dig it. Maybe it's just because it was one of the first 3D movies I ever saw in the theater.
Oh yeah.
Like I remember when you saw that in the theater, like it's not in the version we all watch now, but like in the theater, like Freddy would pop on the screen and he'd be like, "Okay, kiddies, time to put on your 3D glasses." And then they did the 3D scene, and then you knew to
Yeah.
take them off afterwards. But yeah, it was great.
Yeah. There's some. I mean, I love bad movies, and if they're bad, I'll still watch them. Dream Child.
Yeah.
Funny thing, I had Lisa Wilcox on a couple of years ago, who
Hmm.
starred in that movie, and she's great.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. Oh
Yeah, I think
yeah.
that's the best opportunity. Best thing about I love talking horror, but I get some indie people who do horror. I get some people who like occasionally are big into horror, so it's nice. But I like being a platform for like indie people to kind of come on and talk about horror. And some of those indie movies they have out there are fucking great.
They're the best ones, man. They're wild. You got to be creative. Once you get too much money, it all goes to shit.
True.
You got to keep a horror budget 20 mil or less, in my opinion. And
Oh yeah.
once you start making it like, was there ever a good like $100 million horror movie? I don't think it
Ooh, no.
exists. It's too clean. Like what was like The Cell, I guess, is like a good big
Yeah.
budget horror movie, but it still kind of sucks. And so
Yeah.
but the as far as like big budget horror goes, I don't there's nothing I'm like into. You know what is good? I don't know if it was big budget, but it had big names, and Robert Zemeckis was What Lies Beneath.
Ooh, I saw that shit in theaters. I remember that.
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters too. I remember loving it. I haven't seen it in a long time, so maybe it doesn't hold up, but Harrison Ford is a bad guy. I'm always down to check that out.
Oh yeah, we need more of that. I'm excited for the new Avengers movie where he's basically Red Hulk. So I mean,
Yeah.
geriatric and the Hulk, mixed together. I think that's a good mix.
And he is excited because Red Hulk is computer generated, so he didn't have to show up to work. He just got to stay home and get stoned and work out. Yeah.
That's how I feel with that show, like Shrinking, that he's in with Jason Segel. Like he's just smoking weed,
Oh
hanging
my
out.
god.
They don't feed him lines. He's just do whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah, he's great in that. I actually do, but I will say, whenever I saw the new Blade Runner, I was just like, is he like not getting out of the chair on purpose? Like, is he just like sleeping through this role?
I know I could totally, I could totally. He needs to be in more horror. I would love to see him. Maybe he could throw in a little. I could see him as Freddy Krueger, but like he wouldn't work as
Oh
hard with
my
it. But I could
god.
still see him do it.
Yeah, I don't know. Freddie is Robert England's alive. He's Freddie.
Yeah,
Because it's not he's old, but Freddie's covered in fucking lesions and burn marks. He can be old and do Freddie. As long as
true.
they could if Robert De Niro could play 40 at with computer graphics, we can give Robert England one more spin as Freddie.
That's what I'm hoping. I mean, I'm a huge fan. I got to meet him at a con once, and he's super nice, and he's really cool guy. And I mean, yeah, that's what he's known for. But he's got a lot of other great horrors, like The Mangler. 976 Evil is one that he directed and wrote. That's
Yeah.
really good.
What was the one? The other Wes Craven one he did wasn't In the Mouth of Madness. It was something. Maybe it was In the Mouth of Madness. I think so.
That or
That,
Urban Legend is a. I think Wes Craven helped with that.
oh, okay. Is he in Urban Legend?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, he's
man.
like a college
I
professor
love
in
it.
that, like teaching Urban Legend.
Yeah, he was. People don't realize he was Mark Hamill's roommate
Oh yeah,
when they were first starting out. Like Mark Hamill booked Star Wars, and then a couple years passed, and he booked Freddy, and they're just these icons. It's fucking cool, man. I love that shit.
a lot of people don't know Mark Hamill's in a horror movie. He was in John Carpenter's Body Bags, which is a really cool anthology.
He was in Body
Yeah.
Bags. I haven't seen that since I was a kid.
Oh man, I rewatched it
Oh,
not too long ago, and he gets a serial killer's eye. He's like a baseball player who gets an eye transplant, and he starts becoming, possessed by the
yeah.
killer.
That's right. I don't know why I remembered it as an arm, but yeah, no. I could see. Yeah, it makes sense that it's an eye. It's been so long. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what happened, but yeah. Oh,
No, there is a horror
so
movie like
good.
that.
Wishmaster. That's the one I
Wishmaster.
was
Okay,
thinking
yeah,
of. Wishmaster. Yes, yes, yes. There, that was
that's
it.
so good. I know, like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
one you're thinking about, the arm. I think it was Brad Dourif, and it was called Body Parts. So a bunch of these people get body parts from company.
Oh,
That one's a good one.
yes. Oh, thank God you're here. I would have been worried about that all day. I'm like, I don't fucking think he knows what he's talking about. But yeah, no, it's body parts. You're right. That's totally correct. I
I
love
mean,
that.
the
Now that I
podcast called I
remember
Love
it,
Horror. I got to represent at least a little bit.
you have to. You got to be the expert, man. So, what have you been watching lately? You been checking out the new shit? I'm going to see Presents tonight. I'm very
Ooh,
excited.
nice. I tried to. So I write for an online publication called Macabre Daily. So a lot of the shit that I have to watch is some screeners for like lower budget stuff, which I love. But I think
Yeah.
the last newer one I saw was Substance, and that fucking knocked me out.
Yeah, dude, Substance rocked. I don't do good with body horror, and so I was real squeamish. I didn't want to go. I didn't know much about the movie. I never saw a preview, but I just knew I heard it was really gross and it was all body horror, And I remember it was just like my wife had some friends over, and I was just like, man, I gotta get out of here. And so I called up Henry. I was like, yo, let's go see The Substance. And he said, yeah, because he didn't know what it was either. And the two of us went. We got the last two seats in the theater, front row, center, just like, and we were absorbed and howling and screaming how much we liked. And then that end, oh my God, no spoilers. Don't worry, folks. But if you're squeaming and you're thinking about leaving like I was just because it was a little much, I've never been rewarded for sticking around to the end of a film like The Substance. I mean, it was I was jealous when I walked out of that theater.
Yeah.
I was like mad that I had nothing to do with the movie. It was so fucking good. It looked like the most fun on set unless you were the guy with the mop. But like the rest of it,
Yeah.
it just looked like a fucking blast, man.
I don't know. My wife is not very much into horror, and this is one of the few ones she actually wanted to see. So we like got it on iTunes and watched it. But yeah, I mean, it's been out long enough. You can say spoilers like that fucked up. Her duplicate takes the substance, and then it's just I laughed my ass off when I saw that fucking monster put like the thing on the face like a
Oh
picture of
my
Demi
god,
Moore.
it
I
was very
loved
Toxic
it.
Avenger, just like
Yes.
trying to look pretty, just shit fucking kills me. I love when a monster like takes time to like make itself look presentable.
Yeah. I mean, Donald Trump's a monster. He does it too. Why can't a horror monster do it?
Oh my god, the amount of horror makeup that man goes through every morning. Just a fucking staple gun to keep his hair on is fucking ridiculous.
God, I know. I mean, his fucking photo for his presidential photo looked like the cover of a horror movie.
Oh, oh my god, just so mean and scowling. Like, what are you doing? You're an old fucking dude who shits his pants. Don't fucking lie to us. But regardless,
Yeah, I mean, it looked like
we're
something
talking
they were.
about fun horror.
Yeah, that's true.
Not the real
I get
life horror.
sidetracked with that. Yeah. Anyways, no, but newer horror stuff, it's hard for me. So I made sure I went to go see Terrifier 3 because I know people are gonna spoil the fuck out of it. So I went
Yeah.
10:30 in the morning on a Sunday.
Oh,
It-
that's a good time.
yeah.
That's a fucking cup of coffee right there, man.
Oh God, yes. But there was like, so I live in Utah. There's a lot of stuck up people, but I went and there's like 10 people there, and I'm like, yes, okay, these are my people. And we start
Yeah.
watching it. 5 minutes in, two people walk out. 30 minutes later, four people walk out.
Hell yeah.
Towards the end, with that shower scene, I think it was me and one person left. That person walked out. So I'm like, okay, fine. I'm the
Yeah.
only one in Utah who can fucking handle Terrifier 3.
At 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Also, it's a little early for that. I did the exact opposite. Because I had never seen Terrifier 1, 2, or 3 when 3 came out. And so I was like, all right, I'm doing it. It's October. We're doing our 30 for 30, so I rented Terrifier 1. I watched it the night before, and then they had a double feature of Terrifier 2 going straight into Terrifier 3 at the AMC, right? Like a day before Terrifier 3 came out. And so me, Henry, and Jackie went to that. Henry's sister, Jackie Zabrowski. And we went to that, and I was just like, man, I can't believe I slept on this series for so long. It is just straight brutality, but there is like a nuance to it that makes it like a really fun film as well. And David Howard Thornton obviously is the crux of that, and the director
Oh
who did
yeah.
a lot of the makeup for the first two movies. But 3, that is the one time where I will say once they got a little bit of a budget, they really had some fun. And then what I did was for this, I didn't know exactly what horror movies we're going to be talking about or structure, but
Yeah.
I wrote my top 5 horror movies down, which changes hour to hour, let's face it.
Oh yeah.
And but I put Terrifier 3 as number 5 because
Solid.
it really did, like, it filled my heart that people were still making, or like people are making movies like this. Not still making. There's nothing like Terrifier
No.
3. The fact that like this was made and put into an AMC movie theater for me to see is, and also I love that they're like, fuck you. I don't want you to rate my movie. I don't want NC-17. I don't want R. Eat shit. I'm releasing it without you, MPAA, because they're you gatekeeping bastards. They just did it on their own, and it was badass. And I love that. I love that that chutzpah, you know,
Chutzpah.
to
Yeah, I
just
fucking love that word. I love chutzpah.
to do something like that. And you Terrifier 3, I'm proud of all those motherfuckers. That's
Oh
another
yeah.
one I was jealous I had nothing to do with. I saw my buddy Annie Letterman was in it, and I called as soon as it was over, I was just texting her, I was like, Terrifier 3, you're in a hit. You did it. You did
Who was she in it?
She was the like a podcaster, or like she was like an interviewer or something. She didn't
Oh,
get killed
okay.
or anything. She had a small part. But
Gotcha.
yeah. But I clocked her, and I was so happy for her. It was just like I literally like screamed her name. But I had the opposite audience because it was the double feature of the Terrifier, and so it was packed with people like dressed like the Terrifier. So people were screaming and cheering and shit. So I had the exact opposite experience, which you would have loved, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah.
It was there was someone brought their fucking kid. I was like, get him
Oh
out of here.
man.
It is just like, what are you doing? Like, first of all, it's midnight. Like,
Oh,
what are you doing?
Jesus.
But like, it was, come on. But the kid actually had a great time.
I mean, I feel I hate it when people bring kids to movies like that, but then I feel like a hypocrite because I went to those movies when I was a kid and that young. But I don't
I
know. I
had
mean,
a I had a my buddy who I was talking about earlier, who we tried to empty the video shelves at the movie store growing up. He's got kids now. I don't have kids. And we were talking about like what is the age appropriate for him to show it to. I was like, man, we were watching that shit at 10. And then in my mind, I was just like, well, maybe we shouldn't have, and maybe our parents should have done a better job of making sure we didn't watch that horrible stuff at such a young age. So yeah, he's gonna wait a couple extra years with his kids than we did. I remember we came to the conclusion together. But yeah, no, it was it makes sense. I mean, the
oh
kids
yeah.
today also, we were a lot harder than the kids today.
Oh, true.
We lived outside. I don't think kids today go throw rocks for hours like we did. So
Oh yeah. I think about when I was a kid, like even going to door for Halloween, and I think about that now where people would like invite you in and like here's some candy, and I'm like, shit, man, I could have been murdered or kidnapped so much
oh
as
my
a
God,
kid. I mean, no one's
we
gonna
did
take me. I'm a
everything
chubby kid.
alone. Yeah. Yeah, well, people love chubs, dude. Don't sell yourself short. I
That's
was a
true.
chubby kid. One guy tried to take me. But
Oh
he wasn't
jeez.
successful. He was unsuccessful. My dad showed up, but
Well, there you
yeah,
go.
yeah. But no real life horror.
No, no, I've had enough of that already with you know traumatic childhood, so I don't want any of that anymore. But you mentioned you've got a list of like your top five. I'm curious what else is on this list.
So I'll go from 5 up. All right. This is like
Okay.
I said, this like literally, if you ask me in an hour, this list can change. But
No,
like,
I'm the same
like
way.
it's just, yeah, but right now I was like, all right, so number 5, I put Terrifier 3. Like I literally, because you told me to make a list of movies I wanted to talk about. So I sat down, I thought about this, and I did something with, a lot of times when you make a list, you start looking up like other lists or movies or
Yeah.
whatever. I was like, I'm just gonna go off of the dome. Let's see what pops in and what I would want to watch right now. So number 5, Terrifier 3. Number 4, The Thing. I know it's sci-fi
Ooh,
ish,
no, it's
but it's
good.
enough. It's enough horror with the makeup and then number 3, Halloween, just because Mike Myers, my boy. I love Michael.
Okay.
He's my of all the slashers. I'm a Michael man. So I had to put Halloween in there. A close second to the Halloween is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I know that's
Okay.
controversial, but I fucking love the zombie Halloween 2.
No, I love that shit too. I saw that in theaters on Valentine's Day, and I remember walking out, and someone pulled a comic book guy. He's like, "Worst movie ever." Wish I can get my
Yeah.
money back from Rob Zombie. I was like, "Did we watch the same fucking movie?" Like, it was
It was
great.
brutal. It was
Oh yeah.
brutal. I've heard a good complaint that I registered for Halloween 2, because I always say that I love Halloween 2. And the best complaint that I heard when he was comparing it to the actual the old school Carpenter Halloween, is that the people that Michael was hunting in the original Halloween movie are like good normal citizens. And then in Halloween 2, or in the Rob Zombie Halloween, everyone's like a junkie, and like, like everyone's horrible. I mean, obviously the lead's a sweet lady, but for the most part, it's like the whole town is terrifying, like immediately. But Haddonfield itself is like a sleepy, innocent town, and that's what actually makes it really scary. And so I understood that as a critique, but I didn't give a shit. And then number two is a weird one. I wanted to throw one weird one in there. Event Horizon. I
Ooh,
love
I
Event
was gonna
Horizon.
say that when you mentioned earlier, if there's a big budget horror, Event
Yeah,
Horizon, I feel like it's probably
yeah, it
in,
was big budget, wasn't it?
yeah,
Definitely. I mean, they're on a fucking spaceship and like they had a big Satan ball. And
yeah,
my number one horror movie, this one pretty much always stays number one, and that's Evil Dead 2. And it is just the
solid,
perfect blend of comedy and horror, which is, my sweet spot. And Evil Dead 2 was a
same.
very influential movie growing up. Some honorable mentions. I did mention the
Okay.
Rob Zombie horror, Tales from the Crypt Demon Night. God, I
Oh,
love
I
that.
fucking love that movie. Love
Demon
it.
Knight rocks, dude. I fucking love Demon Knight, dude. The soundtrack's awesome. It's just like it's an action movie more than a horror movie, let's face it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it is just everyone throws it down in that movie. CCH Pounder, when she's just sitting there fucking release is wearing that vest of hand grenades after she got her arm ripped off by a demon, dude. And she's like looking at the demons. She's just like supper time and
Oh, I
fucking
love
blows
that
all them
line.
motherfuckers up. Every part of that movie is so good. And then the guy from Gremlins fucking crushes it. The old
Oh yeah.
guy, yeah, he's unbelievable. And there's a doc about that actor that I really got to see.
Oh
And
yeah.
Billy Zane obviously puts on the hell of a performance.
God damn that scene where he's like, I'm tired of this cowpoke, give me motherfucker. I can't even remember the line, but I laugh. I
Yeah.
love that. I always tell people, suggest that to people. So what I like to do for my guests is like I'll send out a list of like my horror recommends for them to check out. And
Nice.
I always put that one on and Frighteners. Frighteners is another one I feel is unsung.
Frighteners is good, man. Frighteners is real good. That was Peter Jackson's first
Yeah,
American film. Yeah, that was and it was like Michael J. Fox's
Michael
like
Jackson.
last like full human
Yeah.
performance, like not to be a piece of shit about it, but
No, no, he's
yeah.
no,
uh
it's true. I mean, but that's I mean, God, man. Jeez, what was that? The honorable mention you just mentioned that we were talking
Demon
about
Night.
Demon Knight. Thank you. I even like Bordello of Blood, and a lot of people
It's
don't like
good.
that.
It's not, but
Not
it's
as
no
good.
it's nowhere near Demon Knight in my opinion. And like, Dennis Miller, he's too snarky.
Yeah, that's true.
That movie was a little too horny for me. Demon
Yeah,
Knight had like the right amount of breasts, for like Bordello Blood was
true.
it was a little too. I mean, obviously it's Bordello in the title, but I'll see anything with the Crypt Keeper. How is that the thing that hasn't been brought back yet?
Oh,
Tales
I
from
know.
The Crypt Keeper is the fucking man. Everyone loves the Crypt Keeper.
Oh yeah, I've got the whole series right here, man. Like I even tweeted at HBO Max. I'm like, why the fuck isn't Tales from the Crypt on here? Why?
Why? It makes no sense. It's probably some weird rights thing from back in the day that, but I mean, who cares? Get it. It's yours. We all want it.
Oh
It
yeah,
would do great. If they made a big deal about it, it would hit and it would be back. I know it would. They have a bunch of old series they didn't put on there, which drives me crazy.
oh
Like
yeah.
like Dream On and stuff like that isn't
Oh
on
okay.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember those. That was a horny show, but that was straight horn, no horror, so I
Yeah, I mean,
understood.
well, what show from the 80s and 90s wasn't horny? I mean, most horror movies were horny back then. If you didn't have tits in a movie in the 80s, I mean, it's you didn't get a 5-star rating.
Yeah. It is interesting how that's kind of gone now. There's no more horror and nudity used to go together every single time. Like if there was no nudity in a horror movie, it's like, are you even watching a horror movie? But
Yeah.
now it's everything's slightly more respectful. It's more brutal. Like the kills are more disgusting, but it's like classier in that way, which shows progress in
Yeah.
society.
Yeah, and it's more of a like they're amping up the Final Girl era even more so. I mean,
Yeah.
Terrifier of course with Laura Lavera, I think her name is. I mean, she kicks ass in that movie. I love a good
Yeah.
movie with a good final girl. I mean, I love a strong
Yes.
female lead. I mean, Sigourney Weaver and Aliens, I mean, that's sci-fi horror. I'll still consider that. Nancy Thompson and
Yeah,
Nightmare on Elm Street. So many good, like, there's even a movie called Final Girls that was awesome. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
I never heard of that one. Put that on your list that you send
Okay.
me.
It's good.
Yeah,
It's
I'll love to.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just leading into you talking again. Let's do it. What
Okay,
was
sorry.
it?
I feel
Tell me
bad.
about Final Girls.
I feel that there's always a delay, so I feel bad if I talk over someone. But no, Final Girls
Don't
is
stress, baby.
yeah, I know. So it's about a girl whose
Start talking
mom.
now. I'm just kidding.
Damn you, Eddie. Damn you. Do you know how important this is to me to look good in front of you guys? Jesus. I wore this fucking Disneyland hoodie that I got because I know you like Disney. I'm
You
trying to
look great.
impress you.
I love it, man.
Yeah,
No, I
one of
am
the few times.
impressed.
Yeah, my wife and I go to Disney all the time. I'm sure our paths cross because we go to the Halloween, or not Halloween Horror Nights. Well, Oogie Boogie
Oogie
Bash. We
Boogie.
did the all every year. We just did Disney World's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween.
How
So
is
that
that?
was it's not bad.
It's
I
not
feel
bad.
California does it better.
Yeah, and also, not to sound like a total lush, the California Adventure, they got lots of booze. That's always, if I'm gonna be hanging at Disney till 1 in the morning, I wanna have a couple. And I know
Oh
at the
yeah.
Magic Kingdom they don't sell booze, so
No. I mean,
yeah.
yeah. But I could talk Disney all day long. I mean, I proposed to my wife in front of the Guardians ride at Disney.
Oh,
First
that's
trip to
so
Disney too.
sweet. Oh, which one, the Epcot or the one here?
The one in California. It was
Mission
the like,
Breakout.
yeah, it's her
Wow.
favorite
She said
movie.
yes.
And yes, thankfully, surprisingly. No, I knew she was gonna say yes, but I went all out. She loves Guardians, so I even brought this here. So I made an orb into a ring
Nice.
box for her. So it's got like a little thing to put the ring in there, and I proposed to her right in front of that ride. So
Wow. That's straight nerd
I
shit, dude.
know,
That's
yeah, it's
love.
probably why she
I
said
love
yes.
that. Oh my God. I asked my wife to marry me at the Forum right before a Fleetwood Mac concert. So,
Sick.
yeah. Yeah, also, very soft.
Well, it's good. I think it shows how much you love somebody. But yeah, sorry, I got on a tangent about Disney, but no, Final
I
Girls.
love it.
It's about this girl whose mom was a 80s horror scream queen, and then she dies. And then they always show the movie that her mom starred in every year because there's a huge fan base, and then she gets sucked into the movie. So her mom has the characters in it. There's a bunch of crazy shit happening. It's so good. I think it's on Tubi.
All right, I'll check that shit out. Speaking of Disney, going back, what's your favorite like spooky-ish Disney stuff? I'll go first. I'll
Ooh,
let you think about it for a second
yeah,
because
go
there's
for
not
it.
much. Obviously, you mentioned Agatha. You just named your Dachshund after Agatha. But you know what I always go back to? Mr. Boogedy.
Okay,
Love Mr. Boogedy. It's a Thanksgiving horror. Thanksgiving, Eli Roth tried to take the Thanksgiving horror from Mr. Boogedy, but I love Mr. Boogedy. It was one of the first scary films I ever saw as a kid. I used to play it in after school.
nice.
Remember, he was an evil pilgrim who was like half pilgrim, half boogeyman, and he would come and he'd be boogity boogity boo, and he'd come get you, and he was had the belt buckle on his hat and shit. I fucking
I
love that
remember
shit.
that. Yeah, I can't remember the name that I like, but it's about an imaginary friend, and if they start forgetting them, they start turning into monsters and shit. It was
Oh, is
really
that Little
dark for.
Monsters?
No, it's something I wish I could
Drop
remember it.
Dead Fred?
No, it's a Disney Channel movie for sure.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll have to look it up. But yeah, it's like she has an imaginary friend. Her brother's imaginary friend starts working with her to get rid of this monster. But yeah, if you stop believing in your imaginary friend, they turn into fucking beasts, and it's kind of dark for a Disney movie.
I love that shit. Get dark with me. You ever see Halloween Town? I never got down on that, but
Yeah,
people say they love it. It's a good series.
yeah. My wife, every year she's like, "We got to watch Halloween Town. We got to watch all of them." And I want to make sure she gets what she wants. So I'm like, sure. And
Absolutely.
they're okay. I mean, I don't mind them, but I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
mindless shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like Ernest Scared stupid,
Oh
basically.
god, I love Ernest. That Ernest was my guy growing up.
Yeah, I mean, he was everyone's guy. He was such a speaking of positivity, he was such a positive force for all of us. Just like he just
Oh yeah,
wanted everyone to be happy, always had a good way of looking at problems. I love Ernest. Great guy. Ended up being the Slinky Dog.
yeah.
Speaking of Disney, it was the voice of Slinky Dog till the coach that no one could understand took over from Waterboy.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot it was him.
I watched
Was
last night for you. I was like, all right, I wanted to watch something, before we got
okay.
in here, something I hadn't seen before. And I don't know if you saw it yet or not, but I watched Cuckoo last night, or
No,
Cuckoo.
I haven't seen that yet, but I've heard good things.
It's good. It's fucking super weird. Dan Stevens fucking throws it down like always. The end, it's one of those movies, I think, to me, the classic fault of horror movies. And I'll love like 95% of a horror movie. And then right at the end, they try and explain too much. And it's just like, keep a mystery. I don't care. I don't need to know the answer. You just keep it scary and a mystery. And I think that's one thing that Cuckoo did. They just explained a little too much there at the end. But I will
Okay.
say it's definitely scary. I think the lead actress put on a fucking hell of a performance, and I love Dan Stevens. I'll watch him do anything.
Nice.
Remember, he was the guest. He was so good at that movie where
I'm
he
trying to
played the
remember that.
he was like the soldier that came back home because he knew their son was killed at war, and then he came back, and then he was just like this sexy guy who was friends with the brother before he got killed
Oh,
in
okay.
war, and he came back, and then he started like seducing the family and shit, and it was fucking terrifying. And yeah, and he was great in that. So I think he has a great career moving forward in horror. Some other recent horror movies. These are the other three horror movies I've seen in the last like 2 weeks. I always keep a list. It's one thing I started to do last year, and every time I watch a movie, I write it down on my phone, and I keep a list so when I'm in these situations, I can go back and talk. But the most recent, the three other horror movies I saw recently were Nosferatu. Fucking loved it, all about it. I know it's like people are like, oh, it's just like a shot for shot remake. It's like, yeah, it's very impressive. And I thought they nailed it. I'll go see any Robert Eggers movie. And then I saw Lost Highway in honor of Lynch. I do consider
Yeah.
Lost Highway to be a horror movie. And also I saw Dracula Dead and Loving It, and it did not hold up. It was not funny.
Really?
Yeah, it was really bad. I
Oh
was
man.
actually like kind of upset, because I'm a Mel Brooks fanatic, Leslie
Same.
Nielsen fanatic, and I'm watching it and like, but as a comedian, I realized like halfway through, I was like, oh, Mel and Leslie don't link up. Mel writes jokes. Also, you could tell he didn't write it. I know I looked afterwards and I saw he didn't write it. There's no jokes in the fucking movie.
That's true.
It's just like weird little moments and stuff. I was like, I couldn't I was so it didn't make me laugh once. I was so disappointed. I was like, at least I knew it was gonna be bad when I put it on. I was like, this is gonna be bad. But I didn't remember how awful it truly was. And I remembered I saw it in the theater as a child, and even then I was like, this fucking sucks. Like even as a kid, it didn't get me, so like I don't watch it. Let Dracula Dead and Loving It be forgotten, and remember Leslie Nielsen for Airplane and Naked Gun, and Mel Brooks for the rest of his
Yeah.
career.
God.
That movie real I couldn't I was so upset. My favorites just putting in trash right before, well, Mel's still alive, but
Yeah.
right before Leslie passed on. It was, it didn't spook it what I saw it right after I saw Nosferatu, and I will say, like, it was like almost the plot was Nosferatu like to a T. So I will say they did do that at least, but they forgot to put the jokes in, and you gotta put the jokes in.
Yeah. I mean, it's substantial. I mean, I'm a little like judgmental with jokes in movies. 'Cause I've been doing stand up for like 15 years. So
Mhm.
like I feel like I'm a snob sometimes, but the 90s was great. I mean, and speaking of Leslie Nielsen, I want to go back and rewatch Naked Gun, but I'm like, oh yeah, OJ Simpson's in that. Is that gonna ruin that for me?
Nah, it's fine. Naked Gun gets a pass. Oh,
True, yeah.
it's. I mean, he's barely in the movies. He's like a prop, So don't even stress out about it. The
That's
first
true,
two
yeah.
Naked Guns are very important to comedy. It's all
True.
jokes. There's jokes happening in the background while people are saying jokes, and then another joke is happening with someone's out. It's like it's so layered and impressive. And also, if you don't want to watch Naked Gun because of OJ, that's okay. I got you covered. You're going to go watch The Files of Police Squad, the television show.
Yes.
6 episodes. What Naked Gun was based off of. It was 5 episodes aired on CBS, and the world didn't get it. It was like too many jokes and too many things happening, and the 6 episode never even actually went to air. But if you got the DVD box set like my big ass does, you get to watch that 6 episode, and it is
Ooh,
so sweet.
nice.
Yeah, and they have a different dude playing Nordberg, but it's like a different football player, and they also have a different captain, because George Kennedy is no one's better than George Kennedy in the Naked Gun films. He's so good, and but the guy they had in the original movies in the original show he was very funny. He played it even more straight than George Kennedy did. So it's totally worth a watch. Go check it out. At least the first 4 episodes are just wall to wall jokes. It is so impressive.
Yeah, I need to do that. I mean, I like I mean, clearly I like comedy movies, horrors, yeah, but horror comedies, of course, too. But we were talking earlier. You said Michael Myers is your guy.
Yeah.
Is there any particular reason why like he stands out among any of the other horror icons?
Well, I mean, I dig Jason. Don't get me wrong. I dig him, but he's like clearly a copy of
Yeah,
Michael Myers. Like they so much admit it, like it's there isn't much of a story to Jason. To me, he's just he's a fat nerd that no one liked. What do we do? And I see myself too much in it.
yeah,
Michael, pure evil incarnate, can't be killed. Like was a man, is now just straight evil, always going after his family. I get it, man. He's total ruthless. And then once we get to Rob Zombie Halloweens and why I love those so much, just the sheer brutality of the stabs. It's almost like the dude's like punching with a knife.
yeah,
Like it is the noise, the crunch. I love an unstoppable force. Like a tsunami. I'm not
yeah.
saying I want a tsunami, but I like to watch the footage. I'm very impressed by something that can't be stopped. And Michael Myers cannot be stopped. And I will not accept how they killed him in the last movie because I don't, I think that even the Thresher would not have taken Michael Myers.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you how you liked that trilogy. I mean, it's so with Michael Meyer fans. I thought they were all right.
I thought the first one was great. I thought
Yeah,
the first one was they. I thought they hit it out of the park with the first one. I thought they nailed it, and then they slowly got worse. But I think that they're better than. Also, I think it's the curse of number 5. Halloween 5 garbage. Halloween 6 not that good, but it's a special movie for me because my mom made it my birthday party when I was a kid,
oh,
and I brought
nice.
all the boys to an R-rated movie, and so I was a hero. So Halloween 6 is like a special, and it's it gave us Paul Rudd, but
Yeah, true.
but Halloween 7 and 8, H2O and Resurrection, pure trash. Oh, H2O is fine,
It's
but
not, yeah, it's not bad.
Resurrection's trash. And you know what movie I really don't like out of the series? Halloween 2, the original
Yeah,
Halloween 2. I thought it was lazy. I really did, especially after how good the first Halloween was. It felt forced and lazy. And that's why I really appreciated Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, because this is something Henry and I always preach whenever we're talking about remakes and stuff like that. It's like, remake a shitty movie. Why are you always remaking the good movies? Fix a bad one. And I felt like Rob Zombie fixed Halloween 2.
Yeah,
And so I really appreciated that, and I think that's why I like Halloween 2 so much. Halloween 3, the Season of the Witch, is great. You
love it.
know, it's a great movie. It's very funny. I like the lead actor. I'm blanking on his name, but he was also in Duel, which is also like
Yeah.
kind of
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
yeah,
horror
yeah.
movie. You know, the one with the truck that's trying to kill the guy, you know. But yeah, no, yeah, no, but yeah, but Michael Myers, he's my man. Who who you obviously I let me try to guess. I'm looking at your stuff. You obviously like everybody, but I'm gonna say you're a Freddy man.
100%. If you looked around the rest of my office, you would see there's this really cool thing. It's so I got it off Etsy. It's
Mhm.
his claw coming out of the wall, but it's meant to hold
Nice.
guitars. So it's like a guitar
Yeah.
holder. And this guy makes monster stuff. So I
Talk
just
about
twisted
shredding.
it. Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture of it. It's cool. But yeah, Freddy for sure. I love Michael Myers. I love the Rob Zombie ones. Fuck the first 5 minutes in that Rob Zombie 2, he's chopping that guy's fucking head off just for no reason.
For
I loved
no
it.
reason. In that car accident.
Oh
Oh my
yeah.
God. With the guy from Deadwood. They
Yeah, yeah,
killed him.
yeah.
Yeah. I fucking love that movie. Yeah. Oh, I could talk about Halloween 2 all goddamn day.
No, I could too. But yeah, Freddy's my guy. Clearly I love Chucky, Jason.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. So I love that you brought that up because it's so good. I even love the Ash versus Evil Dead TV series. Did you watch that?
I like all everything that's in that canon. I'm into. I think it's all badass. Both of the new Evil Dead scary movies are fucking terrifying, and I love them.
Yeah.
Evil Dead Rise, I feel like didn't get any love. That movie was fucking awesome. That movie
Oh yeah.
scared the shit out of me. I was like fucking tensed up and frightened. Like I was like upset when I left. I was like, "This is good. This is what I need." You know. So yeah, I fucking everything Evil Dead. I'm all about. And Evil Dead 2 obviously is my favorite, but I can Army of Darkness, like I know every syllable of that movie by heart. I've probably
Same.
seen Army of Darkness. I would say that might be the only movie I've seen over 100 times.
Oh
Like the number, yeah. When I feel like I haven't seen it in a long time, but I watched it twice last year. You know, it's just like I'm just not watching it as frequently. But it was the only I burned through 2 VHSs of that fucking thing. Like
yeah.
that movie
Nice.
was so important to me, and it was just like it was so funny. It taught me a lot about comedy, and it's it was a total failure at the box office, but it was time has shown that people truly love that movie.
Oh yeah. Some of the best movies that fail at the box office but then get a huge rise in like the DVD sales are perfect. And I know you mentioned Army of Darkness. You can't tell, but I've got Evil Ash Funko back there. Love it.
Oh,
It's him like
nice.
skeleton and everything. I love it. But yeah, man, Bruce Campbell, that fucking guy. That I love that
Oh,
man so
oh
much.
yeah, Bubba Hotep, so
Love
good.
Boba
I love
Hotep.
Bubba Hotep's amazing. He's Elvis. That was so fucking
Yeah.
funny. What an amazing idea. Him and Ozzie Davis as Kennedy. What are you kidding me? This is what a great fucking movie. And it's just a mummy sucking on people's butts. What is it's like, I was like, what? Did 10-year-old me write this? Like, what is
Oh yeah. Then
I'm so impressed.
you got him getting proud to finally get an erection after he's getting that ointment on his dick. He's like, oh, I finally did it. I finally. I don't know that movie. Yeah, that movie is another one of his that doesn't get any cred.
Yeah, when it came out, I remember people were loving on it, but I feel like it's been forgotten. Which, what are you gonna do? It is just like a Elvis JFK mummy movie in a nursing home. Those doesn't necessarily say gonna last the test of time, but people like us keep it alive, and I
Yeah, I
appreciate you
mean,
for that.
they even have a comic book series of Bubba Hotep. I think it was really short lived, but it was surprisingly good. I really loved it. I don't know, but yeah, oh man, I could watch that. That's another one I need to rewatch. But there's so many. Like I'm a big '80s and '90s, early 2000s as well horror fan.
Yeah,
So I love. I
yeah,
even
but
oh sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say in early 2000s is kind of like in the I feel like horror started to get a little too clean or something. You know, there was a couple
Yeah.
good ones that snuck through, but in the 80s and 90s, it was still raw. You know, there was still like once they started using uh like computer graphics blood, I was like, what do we I mean, when I saw that, that's honestly kind of what like makes Devil's Rejects like shittier for me is all
Yeah.
the like the gunshots are all like CGI and stuff. It's like, no, man, I'm here for the blood. I want to see the blood. I want to see it on the people. I want to see them. I want to see the Cairo syrup sticking to their skin. I fucking, you know, what are we doing here? You know, I'm here for the juice, dude. Don't fucking CGI that shit. And so, like, I think like 13 Ghosts. I hated that movie. And I
Yeah.
think 13 Ghosts was like the slide into too clean, too like overproduced horror films. Whereas in the 90s and the in the 80s, they were popular, but they were filthy and they were disgusting. Everyone was a criminal. You know, I appreciate that.
Oh, same. I mean, I kind of feel like you're a big fan of like slashers. That's your subgenre you go with, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah. Slashers and I like monsters too. I like, you
Ooh,
know,
okay.
like gremlins and ghoulies and, you know, critters and shit. You
Fucking
know,
critters. I haven't
I'm
seen
all
that in
about
so long.
yeah, yeah, I love that kind of stuff. You know, those guys are great. But yeah, mostly slashers. And you know, obviously, I said Evil Dead's my favorite, but I'm not a big zombie guy. You know, zombies don't
Yeah,
really
same.
do it for me. I feel like it's kind of lazy. But I am excited for 28 years later. I think
Ooh,
that
yeah.
looks so good.
I have to rewatch those, but yeah, it's there's very few zombie movies that I enjoy. I mean, there's some really good horror zombies like Shaun of the Dead. Cooties is another good one with
Yeah,
Rainn
I never
Wilson.
saw Cooties.
I liked it. I thought I was really surprised with how good that did. And it's a good concept. Only the kids can like, get the zombie infection. So it's just a bunch of adults just knocking some zombie kids around. And it's funny. Like I like seeing Elijah Wood in some
Oh, I
comedies.
what was the one with the kid zombies and Nongo and Josh Gad? It was on it was a Hulu movie. That one was pretty good. It came out
Oh
not too
man.
long ago. That one's worth a watch. I can't remember its name.
I can't remember it either.
I'll look it up for us.
Nice.
I'll do the IMDb for us, but you know, what is your favorite zombie movie? I want to hear like what do you like when you think of zombie
Ooh.
movies?
Oh man. There's that one that Dead Alive. Do you remember that one? That was
Oh my
another Peter Jackson.
god.
I fucking
Yes.
love that one.
Oh, I like those Peter Jackson movies were such a big part of my childhood. You know, Meet the Feebles, Dead Alive, and what with Bad Taste. You know, those movies
Yeah.
fucking those were so important to me. You know, when I saw the monster with the middle finger on the fucking
Yeah.
box, I was like little fat Eddie was like, I want that one. I want to give me the one with the middle finger, man. You know, like
I don't
but
know.
yeah, dude. I fucking
There's some good ones out there.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna find
I
this.
I really, if we're talking zombie movies, I really love Night of the Living Dead. I mean, all those are good, but there's that
Okay.
one where that punk girl is like, you see her on the cover and she's got glass all over and she's got
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
I
Return
really
of
like,
the Living Dead, right, or something
yes,
like
yes,
that.
yes, something like that, or Night of the Living Dead 3 or 4. It's so good. I'm weird with subgenres. Th- I really love found footage horror, and I know a lot of
Okay,
people don't like that, but I
I'm not
love
big
found
on
footage.
it, but when it hits, it hits. You know, that's where I go on found footage. It's not. No, what the real good one I liked was what was the one where they're trying to find the scariest haunted house. And they're going in through the backwoods and they're trying to find like
Oh,
and it's like they're trying to find the haunted house where they kidnap you and shit. But the
oh,
truth is, they've been
the
looking.
house October built.
Yes,
That was pretty good.
yeah, that
Second one
one.
fucked it up though.
I didn't see the second one. I didn't mess
Don't.
with it. All right, I won't. Thank you. I appreciate this. If
You're welcome.
anything, the whole day was worth it just for that advice because I was gonna watch that, and I do get mad when it's really bad and not fun bad, and it's just bad. That pisses me off. Also, the movie I was talking about with Josh Gad and Lupita was Little Monsters, and that's on Hulu. And it's
Oh,
so funny
okay.
because we mentioned a different Little Monsters earlier,
Oh yeah.
the Fred
Howie
Savage,
Mandel.
Howie Mandel,
Oh man.
jaunt.
Oh jeez.
But yeah,
No,
no, yeah, that's what it's called. So check that out. You would love that.
yeah.
It's a lot of it's very silly.
Nice. I'll check that out. But yeah, like there's some hit and misses with found footage, but I mean I interviewed a few people. One of my favorites, Hell House LLC. I think Henry brought that up on the last podcast one time. That
Mhm.
those are so good. The recent one, the Carmichael Manor, you could jump into that one without seeing the other ones, and I think that's great. I mean,
Okay.
Butterfly Kisses is another great one. Mr. Creep is about
Oh
this
man,
serial killer.
you're in deep with
Oh
this
fuck
found.
yeah.
I never heard of any of this shit. This is great. This is put them on my list. You sending
Hell
me
yeah.
this list, right? All right, yeah. I
Yeah.
need some of these. Send me some good found footage
Oh
because
no, I definitely will.
I've talked so much shit about found footage horror movies, but like I said, when it hits, it hits. What was the one Grave
Grave
Encounters?
Encounters.
Yeah, that
I
one's
like
good.
that one a lot.
That one's real good. Yeah.
I like anything that makes fun of Zach Bagans a little bit. I mean, I love Ghost Adventures, but yeah, that guy's
Mhm.
a little over the top sometimes.
Oh my God. I work with Jeff Ross a lot. He's my cousin and
Oh yeah.
he was on Ghost Adventures and I got to write a roast of Zach Baggins and my favorite one was what do you tell your parents you do for a living?
That's so good. I
Yeah.
almost went to his haunted house attraction in Vegas when I was there.
I
And
hear it's amazing.
yeah.
But it's like a full journey. It's like 3 or 4 hours like and you have to go but I hear it's like unbelievable. I want to go because they got that haunted doll. I just wanted to meet the
Oh yeah.
Peggy or whatever, they got her in there, and I really wanted to meet her and see if she cursed me or not, but
I wanted
nothing
to see that
happened.
Ed Gein boiling pot thing that he's got. And
Ooh,
then what was it? Dr. Kevorkian's van, I think they had.
wow, that's cool. All right, I'm
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, I need to go to. I mean, I rarely go to Vegas these days, but
Yeah,
no, we were out there for work. My wife, like I said, she doesn't like horror movies, so she's like, I'm not gonna go with you, so enjoy it by yourself.
yeah. No, I wanted to. My wife gave a similar sentiment. I was like, we'll go meet Peggy the haunted doll, and she's just like, we're not gonna meet the haunted
I mean,
doll.
my wife won't even let me have Chucky upstairs. She's like, okay, you're gonna buy that for yourself. Doesn't leave your office, and I'm like,
Oh my
that's
god,
fine.
yeah.
I won't do it.
Although I will say, my wife's super into the Housewives of Beverly Hills, and
Okay.
one of those shows, and they just hired Jennifer Tilly is the new cast member on the
Ooh.
show,
Okay.
and so my wife's been into Jennifer Tilly lately, and I was like, great, Bride of Chucky, let's rock, and it was a hit. We loved it. We laughed the whole time, and so I feel like if you're gonna break in the wife to Chucky, Bride of Chucky is the way to do it.
I tried to break her into like the first Friday the 13th, but so the very end, Jason jumps out of the water, and to this day, she'll always be like, "That's the stupidest fucking movie I've ever seen. Why is he
Yeah,
in the water? Why does he look like that?" And I'm like, "It's context. They're setting him up to be the next killer." And she's just like,
yeah.
"No, fucking stupid. No."
Yeah.
But she's a fiery redhead too, so it's like
Yep.
I don't want to get in her warpath too much. So I'll just be like, "You're okay. You're right. You
I
got a
was
valid
so
point."
disappointed when I showed my wife Nightmare on Elm Street and she was like, "This is stupid." And
Oh
I was
man.
like, "Are you serious? This is terrifying. He kills you in your dreams. He's got knives for fingers. What are you talking about? He's burned up beyond recognition. He rapes children. What do you mean this isn't scary?" You know?
Oh yeah.
And she was just like, "Nah." He's just like, "Yeah, doesn't do it for me." You're like, "Wow, wow, doesn't do it for you, Freddy Krueger." Doesn't do it for you. This is bizarre. Did you ever see the new one, by the way? I
The
refused.
remake, I
Yeah.
I got curious. I got a little horror curious, and nothing against Jackie Earl Henry or Harry or whatever his name is, Jackie Earl, that guy from Rorschach from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I hated it because they emphasized so much on the child molestation shit that they kind of
Oh, yeah.
sacrificed a lot of the story and the
Oh,
horror
they
and
did a
stuff.
lot of like while he was alive stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay. I dug that in Halloween. I will say in Rob
true.
Zombie's Halloween, I did dig the extra backstory there, but I and you know what? That's the next. I don't know if it's actually going to happen, but I heard Rob Zombie is making a show called Fred, which is about
Hmm.
Freddy Krueger, the man, while he's alive. and then in the last episode,
Nice.
he'll get burned by the town, I imagine.
I'd
Uh,
fucking watch that. I mean, they
I'd
had the
watch that.
80s Freddy's Nightmares that they did. I don't know if you ever watched that.
Oh yeah, that's right. But was he even in like wasn't he like the host or something?
Yeah, it was kind of like a Tales from the Crypt, but he would
Yeah.
pop up in the episode uh and still be the one who killed people. But yeah, it's I can't remember the streaming service. It's on there somewhere, but I
Oh, it's
always tell
somewhere.
people, yeah, Just Watch is a great app, not sponsored, but um
Hmm.
I always look up shit on there. But yeah, they have the whole series that just came out and I rewatched them not too long ago. Brad Pitt's in one of them, which is fucking weird.
Oh man.
Like young Brad Pitt. I don't. It's yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. I'll definitely have to check that out. I would. It's Friday the 13th had a series too, right?
Yeah, not Jason in it. There was like an antique dealer who like would trying to find these weird oddities, and there would be cursed objects and shit. And it was okay.
What was the Friday the 13th movie that Jason's not in? Not Jason Goes to Hell. The other one where it's like a crazy guy who's like
Oh
pretending to be Jason.
yeah, I think it's like
Is it
Jason
4 or something?
four.
Or
Yeah,
yeah. It was
yeah.
that's
It's
trash.
the Roy version. I think people like to call it because yeah, yeah, the guy's son gets killed and he starts putting Jason shit back on, and yeah,
Yeah.
that it's okay. Jason Lives. There we go. I'm
Yeah.
fucking all for it.
The
Let's.
Tom Savini Jason movies are the best ones. The ones that
Oh
he
God,
worked
yeah.
on are the best ones.
I love Tom Savini. Fucking what was he like? God, what is his name? Sex Machine. I think was in the
Yes, yeah,
From
and
Dusk Till Dawn. I
I,
love that.
he's one of those guys where it's like, I love you, but I don't want to meet you. I'll let myself just love you and not ruin the majesty of meeting my heroes when it comes to I don't know. He seems like he might be a little shady, but I don't know
Yeah,
nothing. This is just I'm just passing straight judgment. I don't have any inside information, but
true.
I look at him and I'm like, I don't know. I don't you stay away from my family. You
I
know.
mean, he helped out with Terrifier 3 and Damian Leone when I had
Oh,
him on
did
a.
he?
Yeah, he had a cameo in the mall like scene for a
That's
little.
right. That's right. He did. It was so
But
late.
I remember Damien like said like he was inspired by Tom Savini and he met him and got like one of his like little special effects kids as a kid. And that
Yeah.
really got him into practical effects. And so when I saw Tom Savini was going to be a part, I was like, fuck yeah. All right. I love it. But yeah, that's how I feel about Nicolas Cage. I don't know if I'd want to meet Nicolas Cage, but
Yeah.
maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure he's not, I'm sure he's a total kook. And as long as you let him do his kook shit, you can hang out. Like, that's why I figured Nicolas Cage is like, if you just let him be a total psychopath, he's in. Like, don't even talk. Just let him go and say, yeah, no problem. Let's rock. Whatever you need, buddy.
Oh yeah. I'd probably just nod a lot and be like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
man.
cool.
That's
Another dragon statue. That's awesome.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. You bought a T-Rex head. I get it, man. You got that pyramid crypt. Let's go check it out.
Didn't he try and buy the Lolori mansion?
Yeah, I think he did.
And did Zach Baggins just buy it? Who just bought it?
I swear he did. That motherfucker's buying up haunted equity all over the place.
Yeah. Someone just bought the Lolori mansion down in New Orleans. I can't remember who it is, but I hope it's someone who finally makes it into a museum or a haunted house to really like just provide an inevitable disaster. Just
I I heard you guys talk because I've been going through the archives of the brighter side too, and I heard you guys talk about going to New Orleans and like checking shit out, and Amber
yeah.
eating like her weird ass hamburger steak that was super cheap and stuff like that down there.
She makes bad decisions sometimes. I really wish she wouldn't. And it's just like he's like, oh, it's the cheapest steak on Bourbon Street. It's like, well, you shouldn't eat the cheapest steak on Bourbon Street. It's like I will give you $10. Please don't eat the cheapest steak. Get the third cheapest steak. Buy the crab. It's cheap. Get the oyster sandwich. What are we doing?
Yeah.
We're in New Orleans. But I'm not here to complain.
Yeah, maybe I'll have to bring that up when she comes on. But no, New Orleans is great. I mean, there's that movie Hatchet. I don't know if you've ever seen that. That was based in New Orleans.
I Hatchet 1 I was kind of mad about. I didn't enjoy
Okay.
it. I didn't I as a comedy guy, like Hatchet 1, I was like this is trash. Hatchet 2 stepped it up a little bit. I feel like it was like it was a step above the other one, and I didn't bother with Hatchet 3. I probably won't, but I do want to give my respects to, we lost a good one this year, Tony Todd. You know,
Yeah.
the horror community got hit hard with that one. And so, you know, I know it's one of his final performances, so I will check it out just out of respect of Tony Todd, you know.
Yeah. I mean, oh, I'm sad because he was sick for a while. I was talking to his publicist about getting him on, and he's like, he's been really sick and stuff like that. And I'm like, he's like, we'll schedule something soon. And I'm like, nah, man, just let him get some rest. Let him do what he needs to do. I
Uh
I'm a fan. I'm not going to force someone to be on. I mean, he had
yeah.
to do his acceptance speech for a horror award from his bedroom because he was so sick. And I'm like, you know what?
Oh.
Let him feel better. If he's feeling better, great. Let's have him on. And then unfortunately he passed away, and it sucks because he was amazing. He was amazing in everything he did.
Yeah, I love that new Candyman too. I thought,
Ooh,
and I know he
fuck
was
yeah.
like barely in it, but like the that new one was so good. I thought I think everything Jordan Peele's touching is just
Oh God,
dynamite.
yeah.
I love what he's doing. I love that he's a comedian too and just taking over horror. It's just like it's so inspiring.
Well, they say comedy is the hardest thing to do. So if you can do that, you can really do anything. So I can see him doing it really well.
Yeah, yeah. It's weird because you know, comedy's the hardest thing to do, but if you ask a comedian, it's easy. You know, it's you know, and
Yeah.
every comedian like I never wanted to do comedy. I wanted to be like a dramatic actor. You know, like that's what I wanted. I wanted to be in hard dramas, family dramas. You know, like war movies. You know, like now it's like I don't belong in that shit. You know,
Yeah.
as soon as I realized that comedy was the way, and like so what's impossible to some is easy for others, and vice versa. Like they always say, every comedian wants to be a musician, and every musician wants to be a comedian. You know, that's why they always have so many horrible jokes.
That's true. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, you've got some dramatic I was watching a lot of Murder Fist sketches last night while I was working on shit, and
Oh,
there was some
nice.
good like stuff in that. And then I watched your documentary, the How America Killed My Mother, and that hit a string for me. I got diagnosed with type 2 year and a half ago. So and it's
How's it
crazy.
been going?
It's okay. I mean, it's I have my moments, but damn, I feel like a heroin addict. I've got to take 3 shots a day. I got to take that metformin shit, and
Oh,
it's
wow.
terrible. But I mean, it's if I'm gonna get better, I got to take it. But yeah,
You have
the
to, but if you got type 2, you can beat type 2 if you're good.
that's
That's
true.
the beauty of type 2. You can get past it. So yeah, it'll be all right. Now, I mean, every the price of everything's about to go back up, isn't it? That's
Yeah,
the scary shit. That's but yeah, no, you'll be all right. Talk about a fucking real horror movie. Both of my parents had it, so I'm very, I have a very passionate about diabetes and what it does. And I think diabetes is a common disease amongst the horror fans. The
probably why. That's probably why I have it, is because I like
so
horror too
sitting
much.
around and watching eating Reese's Pieces while you're watching people get their heads cut off. It's what happens to that's what happens to everybody. But you'll be fine. Just
Yeah,
do everything they tell you to do. Get on the Ozempic. It's free because you got the beaties. Just
and
do it.
I tried actually, and my insurance won't do it because everyone's using it as a fucking weight loss thing. So
Try
I
them
tried.
again.
Yeah,
Tell me, call your doctor and tell them to try again. If you're persistent, they'll take care of you.
yeah, I tried a Trulicity, and that shit fucked me up. I puked so bad my nose was bleeding because I ruptured like a fucking blood vessel in my nose. So that was my own personal horror show. But yeah,
Fuck yeah,
I'm
man. That's
I'm
so
working
cool.
out. I'm drinking water, staying away from sugary things that I can, and just you know doing the best I can. But that documentary that you did really hit home for me because it was touching and it was great. So I loved it. So I'm glad that you put yourself out there like that. I'm really impressed that you
Thank you,
did that.
man. I appreciate you. It's very kind words. How America Killed My Mother, available on howamericakilledmymother.com. A very personal movie I made. It was like I wanted it to be funny, but it has funny moments, but unfortunately it's just incredibly sad. But if it's like a look into how America like basically takes advantage of our elderly, you know. And it's like, and it's not just the government, it's not just the you know, it's not just the healthcare system, it's you know, it's every aspect of life. It's the banks, it's the cash advance stores, it's the casinos, it's your significant others, you know, it's a lot. And so it was a journey that I took over the course of a couple years to get to the bottom of really what fucking led to the death of my mother. And it's obviously a very personal film, and I'm very thank you for watching it. It means a lot to me. But yeah, if you want to check it out, please go watch. It's available on Vimeo and it's available on Amazon. So
Nice. And that's actually a good kind of segue because I know we're wrapping up and I don't want to keep you too long because I know you got some stuff coming up. But where can everybody follow you? Where's all the great stuff that you're doing? And if you got any other upcoming projects coming up?
you know, the big thing I think that your fan base would be into the most is I got this new dystopian game show I've been doing. I've got like 7 or 8 episodes out. It's called the Hoopa Goo Goo Game, or HGX2. It was a
Nice.
former fun thing we used to do on Brighter Side, with a way to have our comedian friends on and guests. And it was like a rapid fire game where you just try to like find the brighter side to something in 20 seconds or less, you know. But now we turned it into a game show that takes place 1 year in the future, and it's basically if the brighter side was Running Man. And I'm the game show host, and Amber is like, you know, it's like win Ben Stein's money, and Amber's my
Nice.
Ben Stein, you know. And so I've been loving this show. We did it last night, and so much fucking fun. I had my dog Tootsie on. She unfortunately was eliminated and had to die. But
Oh
the
no.
you know, we kill one person every game, and Tootsie, you know, she's a dog. She didn't know how to answer, and so she had to go last time. But I really love that show. That's on the I do that every other week, you know, usually on the Last Podcast Twitch channel. That's twitch.tv/LPN TV. That's also why I don't have a voice today, because I scream the entire time I do it, and I did it last night. But yeah, check that out. Also, my Patreon, if you want to go on there, I have my own personal Patreon, patreon.com/EddieTunes, and it's home to the Eddie Tunes 2 hour radio hour, which is basically a I love music more than I love horror movies. It's my true passion in life. I don't play or anything. I'm just an avid listener and fan. I go to concerts. I have a rule to myself. I go to at least one concert a month, you know, just to like get the jimmies out, you know, dance around and like really feel myself for a little while. It helps my mental health. And so I have a show on there called the Eddie Tunes 2 hour radio hour, where I basically send myself to DJ fantasy camp. And I play a radio DJ, and I play some music for everybody, and and you know, talk over it. It's not the most creative thing in the world, but it's a lot of fun. If you ever listen to Lil Steven's Underground Garage, you'll like this. It's I'm basically copying it. And then also, if you just want to keep in touch, man, I got Instagram Eddie Tunes, and you know, listen to the brighter side. Listen to Last Podcast on the Left. Check us out on the road if you're in Dallas. I'm going to be there with Last Podcast on the Left on February 22nd. Nashville, we're going to play the Ryman, dude. I'm very excited for that. The Ryman
Nice.
Auditorium. That's going to be on March 14th. And then right after that, on March 16th, I'm going to be with Henry doing a side story show in Huntsville, Alabama. That'll be
Nice.
a lot of fun. And then the show after that is going to be in Detroit on April 18th. Where are you located again? Utah. We're
Yeah.
coming to SLC at some point. I don't have anything booked, but the SLC is on the short list. Are you close to there?
Yeah, I'm in Ogden, so it's about like 30 minutes away. I was gonna say when you guys are in town, yeah, definitely let me know. I'll come check it
Dude,
out.
I'll
Oh,
throw you on the list. You let me
sweet.
know. I don't know anyone else in Salt Lake City, so you got my comp. You know, you bring your wife. We'll have a good time, man.
Nice. Yeah, it's Wise Guys is usually the place. I think they did that last time. The owner there is really
Yeah.
great, really nice guy. But yeah, next time you guys are in Utah, I will be front row center.
Rock and roll, baby. I love it. It was nice to meet you, Christopher. This was a lot of fun. Please have me back at some point. And you should
Oh
book
yeah,
everyone here at the Last Podcast Network. You want to talk horror movies? I don't know shit about shit. Jackie Zabrowski lives in a horror movie. Every time she closes her eyes. But but make sure if you want, she would be a phenomenal guest for you. So I would try and get her if you can, because she's just on Shutter all day long.
Oh,
Every time
nice.
I think I know something about horror, she fucking puts me to shame. So she would be an amazing guest.
Yeah, I love Jackie. I love everybody in the LPN network. So I love to have anybody I can on. So yeah, I mean, I've reached out to him before, but I'm kind of a nobody. So it's if you want to put in a good word for me, I'd be happy to have anybody on.
Awesome, awesome. I love it, buddy. Oh yeah, this was so much fun. I appreciate you, Christopher. You
I
fucking
appreciate you
stay
too.
groovy, man. Groovy. Yes.
I can't thank you enough, Eddie. I mean, this is kind of I'm a huge fan of your stuff and everything in the LPN. So this was I was very nervous before, but I'm glad I did it, and I had an incredible time, and I can't thank you enough.
Dude, I love getting smoke in my ass, dude. My ass is so fucking high all the time, dude. I fucking been sitting on bong since I was 10, dude. Fucking lacing up, man. So thank you. I have a great time here. I'll see you soon, and I'll see you in
Yeah.
Utah whenever we're there.
Yeah, maybe we can do like a group podcast talk horror with the LPN people. I love that too.
Ooh, that could be a lot of fun. That could be great. All right, man. You let us know. We'll
All
stay in
right.
touch.
Thanks again, Eddie.
All right. Peace.
Awesome.